Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Speak Smart, a podcast where we simplify communication and soft skills so that you can speak with confidence, clarity, and purpose. If you are listening to this podcast for the very first time, let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Nikhil Malhotra. I'm a CPD certified corporate trainer and communication coach. I train students and working professionals on communication, soft skills, and workplace readiness. Over the years, I've interacted with thousands of learners, and trust me when I say this. Most people don't struggle because they don't know English. They struggle because they don't know how to sound natural while speaking. And that brings us to today's topic. Today, we are talking about something extremely common and rarely addressed properly: how to speak clearly without sounding robotic. Because clarity is important, yes, but sounding like a machine, not so much. You might relate to this if people say that you are good at English, but it sounds rehearsed. You speak fluently, but people don't emotionally connect with you. You freeze in meetings even though you know what to say. You sound confident while practicing, but stiff in real conversations. If any of this sounds like you, this episode is for you. Let's first understand what robotic speech really is. Robotic speech does not mean incorrect grammar. It does not have to do with poor vocabulary. It usually means no natural pauses, same tone from start till the very end, over structured sentences, zero emotional variation. Now, let me give you a very realistic example that will help you understand. Imagine this sentence in an interview. Good morning, sir. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I'm very enthusiastic and passionate about this role. Sounds fine, right? Now, imagine the delivery is really flat. No pause, no emphasis, and the same speed, same tone. That exactly is robotic. Now, try and compare it with this. Good morning, sir. Thank you for giving me this particular opportunity. I'm genuinely excited about this role because it aligns with what I enjoy doing. Same English, different human energy. That's what is natural. Let me break down this honestly based on what I see in training rooms. We are taught to memorize, not communicate. From school days, we were rewarded for perfect answers, correct sentences, fixed formats. No one actually taught us how to sound like ourselves. So when we speak, our brain goes into, let me recall the correct sentence. And the moment you recall instead of express, you sound robotic. The fear of making mistakes. Now, this one also is huge. When you're scared of wrong grammar, wrong word choices, being judged, your brain focuses more on accuracy than connection. And communication without connection becomes mechanical. Number three is the overuse of formal English everywhere. Now, formal English is useful, but not everywhere. So, talking to your manager does not mean it should be a presentation. Talking to a client does not mean that it should be a textbook style. Talking to an interview panel does not mean that you memorized the lines. When formality is actually forced, the naturalness dies. Let me share a very common real life example that I see almost every week. A working professional, let's call him Rohit. So Rohit is technically very sound. His emails are perfect, vocabulary is very strong. But during meetings, people often interrupt him or lose interest. Why? Because Rohit speaks like this. As per my understanding, the deliverables which are expected from our end will be aligned in the timeline discussed previously. Now let's make this human. Okay, so let's make this a human style. So, based on our conversation, here's what we will deliver. And we'll stick to the same timeline that we've agreed upon. Same message, more clarity, more warmth. And that sounds less robotic. That is natural. Now, let's get into the practical part. So, think in ideas, not sentences. Stop thinking that what sentence should I say. Start thinking what is the idea I want to convey. Ideas flow naturally. Sentences feel more forced. Use pauses. That is the most powerful tool. Silence is not weakness, silence is clarity. So take pauses before an important point, after a meaningful sentence, and when you want attention. Robots don't pause, but humans do, right? Speak like you speak to a friend. Have that control. Not casual, not careless. Just let it be natural. If you wouldn't say it to a friend, don't say it in the workplace either. Change your tone based on meaning. Ask yourself, is this point important? Is this emotional? Is this informational? Your tone should change accordingly. Monotone is equal to robotic, right? So we need to understand this. Also, stop aiming for perfect English. Aim for whether it is understood, or aim for the comfortable English and the confident English. Perfection kills personality. Okay, so I guess you've understood most of it. So try this today. Pick one sentence you often say formally. Example can be, please let me know if you have any further questions. And now say it naturally. Let me know if you have any questions. Okay, so record yourself while saying a particular sentence. Okay, listen to that recording. Try and improve if there are any changes that are required. So the small changes can create big impact. So before we wrap up, remember this. Clarity is not about sounding intelligent. It is about sounding understandable and human. If you remove fear, loosen structure, and speak with intent, you'll never sound robotic again. If this episode helped you, share it with someone who sounds fluent but stiff, who speaks really well but lacks impact, who wants to improve communication naturally, right? So, new episodes of Speak Smart drop every Sunday. Do remember this at 8 p.m. right here on Communicate. Subscribe to Communicate now. Until next time, speak less perfectly, speak more honestly, and most importantly, speak smart.